Welcome to the Z-Hut's Mad Scientist Laboratory. I'm Professor Z, and today we're going to attempt to take over the world using Arduinos. Grab your favorite Arduino board and put on your tinfoil hat, because it's time to build.
Today, we will be attempting to take over the world by salvaging old battery holders out of junk electronics to use with our Arduino projects. Now, as you can see here, this is an old junk RC car that I got out of a free box at a garage sale, and this is a great place to find stuff like this. When I see any electronics in a free box at a garage sale, I take them. There's always something you can salvage out of it. Always something. If nothing else, there's some copper wire in there and it's scrap metal. But now this one here, you can see the battery enclosure for this holds 5 AA batteries. Now for the next project that I'm working on, for the next video, I need to have a battery pack that's a little bit smaller than this to fit in the enclosure that I'm using. So I'm not going to use this, but I wanted to show you an option. But here's two more options. Here I have an old junk TV or VCR, whatever it was, or DVD player remote control. And then the bigger item next to it, that is a little mini dartboard game. I already tore the thing apart, and I've used up or thrown away everything else, but I kept it because of the battery enclosure that was on there. Now, this is the one I am going to use in my next project. I measured it. It will fit in the enclosure I'm using along with everything else. But as you can see, it only holds 3 batteries. And I am going to be using rechargeable batteries. So that's going to come out to about 3.5 volts. If you're using alkaline, yes, you get more. So you're wondering, well, how can you power your Arduino with, 3.5 volts? And once you start using it, it's going to drop down to 3 volts and eventually down to 2. Well, this is what we're going to use right here. This is a MT3608 DC to DC adjustable step-up power converter module. These are awesome, and the price is extremely cheap. I got 2 of these on Amazon. Not eBay, Amazon, for $2.15 shipped. Free shipping. Now, they did come from China, so it took like 3 weeks to get them. But, usually you go on Amazon, you don't find stuff this cheap. And I had a gift card. It had like $5 on it, and I was ordering some stuff, and I seen these, so I got them. I have 2 of them. I've actually ordered more. So this is what you're going to need to step the power up, and it's adjustable. Once the voltage drops down to 2 volts out of your battery pack, it will quit working. But anything from 2 volts up to 24 volts, you can adjust the little potentiometer on it, and it will hold that voltage, even as the battery drops, from 3.5 volts to 3 volts. Once you have it set for an output of 5 volts, it will continue to put 5 volts out until the battery pack reaches 2 volts or less. That's what the spec sheet says. I'm imagining there's a little variance, maybe a tiny bit above, tiny bit under, before it starts dropping off. But the project I'm going to be using this in, it's got an on-off switch. It's not going to be on very often, and it's not going to draw a lot of power. So this is what I'm going to use. All right, so what we got to do is we got to remove that enclosure. This is not that difficult, as long as you have the appropriate tool. You're going to need a rotary tool. I recommend a Dremel. You can get, there's is that Harbor Freight, Northern Tool, China Import or something like that. There's a couple different tool places You can find a real cheap version of the Dremel for around $10 to $15, and it comes with some cutoff stuff here and there. But if possible, I'd recommend a real Dremel and get the accessories. If you're building electronic stuff, it's going to come in handy big time. I really recommend it. Here's a picture, I'll already have it up, a picture of, this is my Dremel. You can see I also have a cheapo Chinese version. This is, I bought way back whenever, and I used it like 2-3 times, and I'm like, no, I got to get a real Dremel. I keep it as a backup, and then you can see all my accessories. So what we're going to need is, we're going to need to cut this out, and I'm using a saw blade. Now you can use those little, I don't know, fiberglass ceramic like discs that it will cut the plastic. But I've got these little tiny saw blades, and they just rip through it. So I've already went ahead and cut it out. Here's what it looks like. I did a rough cutout. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to take a sanding drum adapter, or sanding drum for the Dremel, put it on there, and then even it out, smooth it out so it looks nice. Now, this, of course, is optional, but when I build something, you know, I don't like it to look like garbage. I like it to everything look nice, even if the parts are inside. Well, if I open it up and show somebody, everything looks nice. Here's a picture of it after I cleaned it up. And as you can see, I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but it looks pretty nice. And all I got left to do is to wire up the power step-up converter. That's easy. We'll go back to a picture of it here. You got positive in, negative in, positive out, negative out. I'm not going to bother setting up the camcorder to show you me soldering the leads on. I will put a picture in. Well, it should be up here right now. This is what it looks like after it's all put together, soldered together. And also, here's another picture. This is one that I set up, the other one when I first got it, so I could plug it in and use it with a solderless breadboard for experimenting while I'm setting up. Because I always build my project on a solderless breadboard before I commit to soldering everything together. So this one is put to the side for the testing, and the other one now that's made up for the power box for the 3 double A's. And in our next episode, we will be using this in our project. So I can't really think of anything else that we need to go over. So I think we will wrap this up. And I do have an older video when I first got these. I talked a little more about them, a little more details on the step-up converters. If you're more interested in them, I will put a link in the description below. I don't know if I'm going to put up a website for this or not. Actually, a page on the website. I don't really think it needs it. So if there's a link in the description below, I went ahead and did put one up, but I don't really see the need for it. All the pictures and information you should have gotten on here. So with that, I'd just like to thank you for joining us here today. If you found the information useful, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And very, very most importantly of all, make sure to wear your tinfoil hat at all times while you're building. We don't want the government and the men in black to know what we're up to.